Hey guys, Mark here again with part 3 of the ski bow build, the takedown ski bow. So, just got back from the wood shop where I had the riser cut out rough, and then just using some retainer bands, I just positioned the ski limbs in place so you get a kind of overall view of what the bow is expected to look like. So I just laid the measuring tape down there so you can see that the entire bow is about 52 inches long. The hand position, the upper part of the hand is right at 26 inches, which is the midpoint of the bow, and then you're looking an inch and a half above that where your arrow rest is going to be. So pretty stoked with the way that the riser block turned out for now. Let me just take these limbs off. Actually, let me roll it over first so you can see here. So you can see how where I tapered the ski limb or down here, it mates fairly well. It's not perfect, but it was kind of sight unseen. So yeah, that looks good, and we can fine sand that afterwards to make sure they mate perfectly. Better to be a little touch too wide than it is to be too narrow at this point. So anyways, that's awesome. I've also drawn in where the sight window is going to go. So basically going from the flat arrow shelf or up 2.5 inches and in just over halfway the thickness of the bow. Ideally, you'd like your arrow to rest as close to center shot as possible. In order to achieve that, you have to measure in half the width of the bow plus half the width of the arrow shaft. And for me, that would have been going about another 1/16 of an inch in or so. And rather than do that, I kept it at half plus 1/16 instead of half plus 1/8. Just wasn't getting a warm fuzzy. But either way, in the sanding process, I might get closer to being a true center shot bow than I even envision right now. Keeping in mind though that we'll be gluing on a plastic arrow rest, which will add a little bit of girth. And there's the other side. I was wondering about the grain patterns when I had the wood all laid out together and what it was going to look like, and I gotta say I'm pretty stoked. You'll see the pretty cool grain patterns, and this is at the front of the bow. And I was most interested in, I gotta say, is how the handle was going to look. And this too, I'm pretty stoked. So as we round that off, we're going to see some really cool grain patterns going through the bow. It should be highlighted nicely. And obviously to finish off this bow, all of the edges will be rounder in appearance and all of that stuff. So we're going to lose some grain here and there, but I'm pretty confident with what I see here that what we'll be left with at the end is going to be pretty cool. So that's it for now. My next big job will be to start shaping the riser. Most importantly, cutting out the sight window. I'll do that with making a series of vertical relief cuts and then probably pounding it out with a chisel and rasping it smooth. And then the second big job from there will be drilling the holes and countersinking the holes for the limbs to go on. This design only calls for a single bolt attachment. Some designs don't have this section or shelf for the limb to butt up against, and in that case you'd want 2 bolts holding those in. But with this shelf here, that relieves any or eliminates any rocking motion provided you get a super tight fit, and that's what I'm going to be going for by a single bolt here. And I'm going to check my hardware options and decide whether or not I'm going to have a wing nut fitting or an Allen key type fitting or something with an adjustable, either adjustable or a box end wrench or something like that. Well, we'll see. That decision is yet to be made. So that's it for now. I'll provide you guys with an update when available. Take care.